Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'd like to cover The Incredible Hulk Epic Collection, Volume 8. This is an amazing collection of Hulk, probably at the peak of his powers, with some incredible foes faced during this particular run. It covers issues 201 to 226 and annual number 6. It includes mostly amazing artwork from Sal Buscema, but also a couple of visits from old Hulk penciler Herb Trimpe, who had left the book in the 190s, and he comes back for the annual number 6, and then an odd issue in this run. Overall, this is an incredibly strong epic collection, one of the best I own now. It rivals last year's acquisition of Hulk Epic number 7, which includes the first Wolverine, which I've shown before here, Hulk 181, on this channel. My coverage of that issue, you can find it if you just search for it in my channel. It'll be there. But I'd like to go through this one simply because there's just so much great stuff in here. Again, it's mostly I just think maybe 100% of the kind of not mindless, but the childlike Hulk, still running from the military, encountering some of his oldest and most dangerous foes. It's got Absorbing Man, By Beast, the Leader, a great, I think the first full color appearance of Jack of Hearts in 214. There's a 6 or 7 issue team up artist-wise between Sal Buscema and Ernie Chan that's phenomenal. There's some Alfredo Alcala in here inking Sal. There's some macabre stories in here as well, including a great one with Jim Starlin pencils and Alfredo Alcala inks. So this one really has a lot to offer. And there's some pretty cool backup material at the very end as well. Really great stuff. This is some of that Ernie Chan, Sal Buscema team up here. Joe Staton's inks on Sal Buscema in these early issues too are really good. I like Staton's tighter inks on Sal versus someone like Mike Esposito, who I also like, but I prefer Staton's more angular, stronger inks to Esposito's softer line. This first issue is covered as issue 201, which has Kronak the Barbarian. Of course, they don't say that on the cover. Very much looks like Conan. It's a pretty fun issue, really cool. And again, we get to see some of that nice Joe Staton ink work on Sal's pencils. And this is Len Wein here. Len Wein writes the bulk of this. I'm not sure if Bill Mantlo takes over at some point or not. I know Sal didn't get to draw Conan very much, so this is kind of cool to see him do his version of a very much Conan-like character. And of course, he has to fight the Hulk, but the way they get around it is he has this crazy demon trapped in this jewel around his neck, which is totally awesome. Here they have a skirmish. He's no match for Hulk, and he brings the demon out, and they go at it. And it's, nothing short of stunning visual tour de force here. This brawl is just totally incredible. Hulk, of course, triumphs. And I think this is where he reunites with Jarella, issue 202, which is pretty awesome to see him shrunk down like this. I like we get a good bit of Doc Samson in this presentation as well. And we even get a standalone issue with Doc Samson versus the Rhino that has some pretty neat artwork from George Tuska and Keith Pollard, which I thought was an interesting team up that I had never seen before I encountered that issue. But this stuff is great. And there's our old friend Cyclop, who was, I think, originally responsible for micronizing Hulk and sending him to Jarella's world. This is just, what a splash page. Look at this, Assault on Cyclop. Totally awesome. Sal Buscema and Joe Staton are, again, our artists here. Really awesome. Oh, I love the visual on this panel here. Totally great. Awesome vertical panel there. Cyclops is just a visually stunning villain too. Very cool. I do, this paper is not as glossy as the paper in like in an omnibus, but I wish that Marvel would return to some more of a Baxter type stock for these. It probably would cost them a little more money. And the cost of these has gone up dramatically. Like this was $50, which, I mean, for the level, the amount of entertainment you're getting, the sheer amount of story in artwork and the gorgeous color, it's worth it, but it's still, it's a bite, you know, it's a lot. This is that revisit from Herb Trimpe here that I talked about, issue 204. I actually own this issue in a coverless version that I picked up at Ides a while back. So Herb gets a plotter and penciler credit here, and Joe Staton inking him here. It's a neat combination. I like it. It's kind of a very savage look for the Hulk. I'll always love Trimpe's Hulk best. He just, for me, as I grew up as a kid, that was the first Hulk I read. And I do love Sal second, though. I think Sal's phenomenal. And what a Titanic run to follow up Trimpe's Titanic run Sal had. Just amazing. So I think this is a one and done villain here. And then we go back to the story. Jarella is back in our world now, and this is a tragedy, a very tragic issue. This 205. This character, the Crypto Man, of all the characters to be the one responsible for Jarella's death, this nondescript villain, the Crypto Man, really strange that it went down this way, but that's how it goes in this issue. Hulk ultimately unable to protect her. We'll see here. She dies in an act of heroism trying to save this child from tons of falling debris, and she gets covered, and Hulk sees it, and he just takes the Crypto Man apart here. Meanwhile, Jarella is on death's door here, and Samson, he takes her to Samson. I'm sorry, Hulk. We were too late. There was nothing we could do for her. Huh? Jarella is dead? Dead? No, no. And he just, you know, in his childlike mind, he can't deal with it. I mean, most normal folks just struggle to deal with the loss of a loved one. And imagine the Hulk in his emotional state. So next issue, A Man Brewed Berserk, issue 206, which is our cover. Great cover here by Dave Cockrum. What a sneaky great cover artist Dave Cockrum was for Marvel at this time. Not really fast enough to sustain an every month book, but man, he could do some covers. He did the covers after he left X-Men for a while before they let Byrne take him over. So again, we have Sal and Joe Staton, Len Wein as writer-editor, and Hulk is just on a total rampage here. Pretty awesome here, tearing the torch off of the Statue of Liberty. Here he's going to try to drink to forget his troubles, and he can't. A nice dissolve, or a nice scene change here with Hulk screaming, "Why?" And then we wake up, Glenn Talbot wakes up. Remember, he's married to Betty at this time, Betty Ross. He's dealing with some demons of his own. So Hulk reasons maybe, I love Doc Samson too. I love this costume. It's so awesome. Hi, Doc. How are the old biceps? Clay Quartermain asked him. Good morning, Quartermain. Care to join me? So Samson, I like during this period how he is more than a bit character. He's a very much part of the Hulk supporting cast, which is cool. So Hulk is in New York, and I think he gets it in his mind that maybe Doctor Strange could help him. But he gets into trouble in New York, and eventually Strange and the other Defenders, who are Hulk's teammates at this time. Remember, Hulk was guest starring in Defenders almost every month during this period too, which was kind of strange because they never really, I don't think they really tried to work the continuity out. But here they show up in Hulk's book, and there's a nice battle here because they are trying to get him under control and they can't. For the past several hours, Hulk, you have been tearing the city apart, and we have come to put a stop to it. So the Defenders are in their home city of New York. Hulk is here, and Strange uses the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak to try and control the Hulk. And Hulk escapes by tunneling underneath them. And here he thinks this woman is Jarella, and it's just some normal lady. She's totally freaked out because he's a 7-foot, 1,000-pound behemoth sneaking up on her, and Nighthawk shows up to get in between them and the rest of the Defenders, including Red Guardian, Strange, and the Valkyrie. So, my belt buckle was designed by Soviet scientists as a weapon equaled only by Captain America's legendary shield. Well, sorry, Red Guardian, but that's just not going to do the job against the Hulk. And Hulk tries to break the Valkyrie's magic blade, but he can't. He bends it, but it bends back, and he throws it back at her with such force that he almost knocks her out. Nighthawk's lucky the Hulk doesn't crush him here. At the last possible second, he pulled his punch. Thank heaven I got through to him. So they managed to calm Hulk down a little bit. Hulk tries to help fix the damage he's done. And Doctor Strange goes to investigate the condition of Jarella in his astral form. I examined her thoroughly, and she's beyond help. Beyond your help, perhaps. What do you mean? There are resources available to the master of the mystic arts that are denied to lesser men. So he does his best and comes back and reports to Hulk that Jarella is indeed dead. And again, Hulk loses it. And it's just so sad and moving here at the end that no, he doesn't go on another rampage. He just needs the comfort of his friends for a second. And so Valkyrie takes him in her arms and consoles him as best she can. And it's just so movingly written and drawn. It's just really, really sad and wonderful storytelling here. And at the end, the Hulk just wants to be alone. But before we get to the next issue, we have annual number 6 and another visit from Mr. Trimpe. And this is Trimpe Giacoya Esposito production here. Really cool stuff. And a great guest star with Doctor Strange. And here the Hulk is going against the Enclave. And are we getting to see Adam Warlock again? It's a bit of a fake out, but it's a cool one. So here we have a reprise of the origin of Warlock by the Enclave. They want to do the experiment again, except they want to control Warlock this time. And here they have created another cocoon containing presumably a cosmic being. And Doctor Strange shows up to try to stop them, or at least put some kind of brakes on the project, and suddenly the cocoon opens and we have someone called Paragon. And folks, if you know in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this character eventually becomes her. Like, I think this character goes into space and maybe changes their gender. I'm not sure. Something in the back of my head, maybe something I read in the official handbook is telling me that. But if I'm off base here, let me know. But in the meantime, we get a pretty great fight between the Hulk and eventually this character, Paragon. After Strange tangles with them, Hulk gets in on the act here. And again, it's that classic thing of science creating something that it can't control. So this character is metamorphosizing again into something more. I love this sort of energy being look. Reminds me a little bit of Nuclo, but Very cool Kirby Crackle in the center of that black figure. Very neat. So, so it looks like Paragon creates another cocoon. But I must return to the cocoon, for my metamorphosis is not complete. I am form without direction. I have no purpose beyond the beehive. So shall I remain within, meditating until I find such a direction. And on that day, Paragon shall live again. So I think Paragon becomes her, who then later is renamed as Kismet. And here, do we have the Enclave perishing? No, we know they don't perish because I think they show up again in Avengers Annual 12, which I did cover on the show. Yeah. And it says here, follow the adventures of the world's mightiest man brute every month in The Incredible Hulk and The Defenders. So here we have, always loved this cover as a kid, by the way. Totally awesome. I wonder, that is not a Cockrum cover. I don't know who drew that. I can't spot a signature anywhere on that one, but it's pretty neat. This is it, the dramatic turning point in the life of Bruce Banner, a monster in our midst. So here we still have Len Wein as our writer, editor. Sal Buscema and Joe Staten are still our art team. I should mention that Glynis Wein is doing the coloring on these, and Joe Rosas and Irv Watanabe are the letterers through most of this, I think. So, of course, Hulk's foes cannot leave him alone. Even in his despair, he is attacked. He trashes this tank and leaves the scene. Here's Jim Wilson, Hulk's old friend, so we get a revisit from Jim. He's going to show up as a supporting character again. It's been a while. And here we meet a possible new love interest. Now, this goes on for the next maybe 10 or 11 issues, but I don't think it's ever really paid off. She becomes his landlord. Her name is April Summers. I almost called her April O'Neil, but I think that's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And here we have, again, Glenn Talbot. Did anyone like Glenn Talbot? Like, as kids, like, we hated Glenn Talbot. He was just such a jerk. And I think eventually he does bite it, but I'm not sure exactly when. It's not during this collection. And here we have a return of one of my favorite villains, the Absorbing Man. Really, is Absorbing Man a Thor villain or a Hulk villain? I guess he's really a Thor villain, but man, he's had some great tussles with the Hulk over the years. And the Avengers. He's just a great villain. So glad that he was in Secret Wars. It was cool. And this is his, yeah. He's wearing this yellow costume. Where am I? What's going on? And why am I suddenly wearing this sissy outfit? Oh, so these guys are responsible. We merely garbed you in attire more befitting your most remarkable abilities, Crusher Creel. Who are you? We are they who wield power, Absorbing Man. They who rescued you from your rather untenable situation. So they set him to take the Hulk on. Here's a phenomenal cover. Wow, I love that. This looks almost like Rich Buckler here. I wonder if this is a Buckler cover. Again, I'm not seeing the signature on this one either, like the previous one. But our interior, basically our team is the same as last issue. And we're going to get a pretty great tussle as Bruce Banner looks for work. Here shows up the Absorbing Man. And they're going to go at it. It's pretty great. I love how artists depict the Absorbing Man using his powers. He's so powerful, potentially powerful. He is a great foe, either for a single powerful foe like the Hulk or a whole team like when he took on the Avengers during that Byrne run. Yeah, totally awesome. Here he's absorbing the Hulk's powers. Really cool. He eventually is defeated by accidentally grasping and grabbing a piece of glass as they fall, and he's, of course, shattered. So, not the brightest bulb in the fixture, the Absorbing Man, so he is often undone by his lack of wit. Oh, I love this issue as a kid. We always, my friend Sean had it, and we would always read through his stack of comics at his house, and I was always gravitate toward this one. Totally great. And this is the beginning of What I wish we would have had more of during this run is an Ernie Chan, Sal Buscema team up. And I love Chan's inks on Sal's pencils. They're totally awesome. And I think we end up ultimately only getting 7 issues of Sal and Ernie during this period, but they are great. They are to be savored. Really awesome. So Dr. Druid shows up, gives Hulk the info on his enemy, the Mahayoga. For having tasted life anew, he soon returned in the guise of the Mahayogi to pit his mutant powers against those of the uncanny X-Men. So this is an old character who's got a lot of history in Marvel. There's a great shot of one of my favorite characters, Ulysses Bloodstone. Man, I wish that he hadn't died and he'd been used more. Great character. So it looks like he got his powers from a similar stone to Ulysses Bloodstone. I guess he was a mutant too. I have told you this, my friend, because I know your secret, and only the unimaginable power of the Hulk can hope to stop the Mahayogi before it's too late. So, like everyone else, he wants to use the Hulk in some way, or many people like to manipulate him, and Banner is sort of open to it, but he really doesn't want to be the Hulk again. Great, interesting here too, like just showing Dr. Druid is a big dude. I think he's like 6'5", 300 pounds. And here you can see the much smaller Banner just sort of hanging on as he walks across these burning coals. This is pretty cool here, an armored knight on this crazy motorcycle. Just visually stunning stuff. And Banner, resourceful, taking that guy out on his own without the help of the Hulk. But eventually, I love this transformation sequence here. This is so awesome. This is storytelling at its finest. You don't see this kind of stuff much anymore. It's really good. The devices used by these artists back in the 70s and 80s are just, they're incredibly ingenious. And here we have both of these powerful psychics trying to control the Hulk. He can't take it. He collapses. But here we're going to get to see the fight with Mahayogi's minion, Mongu. Very cool. And again, Ernie Chan is on board with his amazing inks. They're prisoners now, but of course, he transforms and escapes. Here we get to learn about the bond between Mongu and the Mahayogi. And of course, you know, once you start beating on Bruce Banner, you better get ready to beat on the Hulk because he's coming out. And yeah, Mongu is no match for him. But through magical means, the Yogi gives him an edge, but Hulk destroys the gem, the soul gem, or the bloodstone. And that it was how Mahayogi maintained his youth and power. This is kind of weirdly touching at the end here too. The connection between these two characters. Master, speak to me. Master, I beg of you. You are still here, Mongu. You did not desert me like the rest. Did you desert me, Master, when I needed your help? No, Master. Mongu will be now as he always has been, faithful to you, Master, unto death and far beyond. So that's cool in a way. Very neat. Had this issue as a kid, loved it. So great. And I believe I covered this one on the show too, individually, 212. So I'm not going to linger on it too long. But it's a totally awesome issue. The first appearance of the Constrictor, totally great. And to see Constrictor fearlessly taking on the Hulk is pretty amazing. The guy's got chutzpah. And here we have the Quintronic Man, another great villain. This is his debut. I don't know if he ever showed up again, but it's essentially 5 people in a giant robot suit, which is Mecha before. Mecha was really well known in America. Really cool. In this one, we get Sal Buscema, but we have Tom Palmer as the guest inker on this. So it's really great. Not too dissimilar from the Chan, but you can definitely see the Palmer differences from Chan. But it's a nice continuation of that heavy inking line that Chan provides. But yeah, it's, man, Tom Palmer and Sal Buscema. What a combo here. This is great. And the scale and the artwork is a little weird because these are humans inside this robot body, and the scale sometimes is a little wonky during this fight. And of course, I mentioned that 214 was the first appearance of Jack of Hearts in a color comic, but I guess it's this issue, 213. He shows up here, and eventually he's going to find the Hulk and take him on in the next issue. Here Hulk is getting his butt kicked, but that never lasts long. No, it's not fair. Hulk can beat anything except the gas. So he's taken captive by the Quintronic Man. But Jim Wilson helps engineer the Hulk's escape. And this time, the Hulk's not going to fall for the gas again because they get ready to unleash it. And Hulk, who is a wily foe, blocks the event and takes out the Quintronic Man by gassing his pilots. Totally awesome. Yeah, had this issue when I was a kid. Loved it. So awesome. And Ernie Chan is back, which is totally great. I love the transformation sequence here. Really cool stuff. Eventually, Jack of Hearts shows up. And of course, he's ostensibly a hero. He thinks he's doing the right thing by antagonizing the Hulk and bringing him in. But here, their battles, they stumble on this freighter fire in the harbor here, and these firefighters are trying their best to put this fire out, and these two are going to be in the way. I love these depictions of the the New York City firefighters in their old school turnout coats and gear. Very neat. This is a great panel here. It's impossible. Nothing alive can move that fast. I only wanted to goad him into following me, but instead I've made him furious. So they smash down into the boat. And to give Jack of Hearts credit, man, he's a tough customer because he battles the Hulk up close, in close quarters. Really great. Then you've done it, ain't you? Somebody's finally gotten rid of that menace to society. Yes, I suppose I have. So why don't I feel very good about it? Why do I feel it was all such a terrible waste? So this is great. This is a great two-part story. Hulk is back, and he winds up on the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, and we get an awesome mystery supervillain. These might be my two favorite issues in this collection of awesome issues. Hulk is wet, and Hulk is mad. So he survived, of course, the battle with Jack of Hearts. He encounters these criminals on the docks. He throws their car into the river. And our mystery villain is not a mystery very long, as we see the Bi-Beast has taken over the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. Look at this incredible full-page shot of the Bi-Beast, one of my favorite Hulk villains. They never did an official handbook entry on him, either in the original, the deluxe, or Update 89. He may show up. I think he shows up in the loose leaf sheets, the three-hole punched card version. But I'd have to double check that. And again, we get a brilliant transformation sequence here. Great recap of Bi-Beast's recent career. So I guess there are two of him. Or is that four? You see, our masters created 2 android beings, one of whom would sleep until such time as he might be called upon to replace his injured brother. I was that sleeper, passing my time absorbing the boundless knowledge of my masters, including the scientific knowledge that my soul brother lacked. So that's pretty cool. Oh, there's that Harpy. Because the MODOK created Harpy, and then the Bi-Beast showed up, and then the MODOK and the Bi-Beast tangled. That was a Trimpe story. Very cool. And here, Bruce Banner is taken up into the helicarrier. And he has to end up helping SHIELD and General Ross. I love it, the shockwave to blow these guys away. Countdown to catastrophe. So here we have 216, and again, our crew is together for this, creative crew. Great Chan inks on these Buscema pencils here. And eventually, Hulk and Bi-Beast tangle here. And it's great. Bi-Beast has this crazy battle vest on that lets him hurl energy bolts because he possesses this new scientific knowledge now. I'm not sure if he made that, retailered that to fit him or not. Look at this great shot of his head. It's so awesome. I love how he has conversations with himself. But we are the living embodiment of the accumulated knowledge of a long-dead race. And though the mechanism which controls this winged vehicle might seem complex to some, it is less than child's play for the Bi-Beast to ignite its rocket engines. So while he can't fit in the cockpit and pilot it, he can use it to burn the heck out of the Hulk here with its blast. I love the difference in scale here showed by this panel. This panel is totally awesome. This would be a great page to track down and purchase. But with the way original art is going today, it would probably not be very cheap. Totally awesome. But not to be outdone, Hulk drives both him and the Bi-Beast off of the helicarrier into the ocean. So, of course, everyone thinks the Hulk is dead, but Ross knows deep down that he isn't. And this is one of the most macabre stories in this collection, along with the Starlin one. This is still Sal Buscema, Ernie Chan, Len Wein. But it's a circus of crime story. But Hulk meets this group of circus freaks and sort of helps them. And remember, he is still smarting from the loss of Jarella, so he meets this beautiful woman who is kind to him, and it really speaks to him in some way. So he's helping these folks out, and they become his friends. Do I disturb thy reverie, good sir? Huh? No, girl. Could never disturb Hulk. Then may I join thee? So I think she's some kind of fairy or otherworldly being. So, but she is not well. Let's see here. So, but the Circus of Crime shows up, including Princess Python having her snake attack the Hulk. This has to be some kind of animal abuse. But obviously it's in no way a threat to the Hulk. But Hulk has a history with the Circus of Crime. They once controlled his mind and made him into a giant, super strong clown way, way back around the time he joined the Avengers, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But here the Ringmaster ensorcels him with his hypnotic hat, and we see the criminal clown. Look at that scary image there. Not a fan of clowns, folks. I'm not a fan of clowns. So here they're taken back again, taken prisoner again. And this little person escapes, and he frees Hulk. And all Hulk can think about is Miriam, the woman who is not well, who was kind to him. And of course, the battle cry goes out, "Hey, Rube!" And all the circus members and carnies try to take the Hulk on. Meanwhile, the circus freaks are striking back. Here, the Gambinos cannot defeat this large woman. Here we have the clown against the little guy, trips him up. And these guys are in no class to take the Hulk on. And Hulk's rage is proof against further hypnotic control. Hulk does not understand. How can Hulk help Miriam? By now I find 'twas the sea alone which sustained me and gave me life. Please, take me home. Then that is what Hulk will do. So he's going to take her back to the sea. I pray thee, Hulk, think kindly of me, for I shall always think of thee. So she was some kind of nymph or sylph or something. And very sad here at the end. I mean, Hulk just can't catch a break. And he, again, is alone. And we do have a great Ernie Chan cover on this issue, but the interior in this Doc Samson story is drawn by George Tuska, longtime comic veteran, and Keith Pollard, a great Marvel house-style artist. And Len Wein and Roger Stern are our writing team here. So Samson gets to kind of show his chops here. I love this classic costume. It's so great. And here he's going against a Hulk-level foe in the Rhino. So he saves the train, does the best he can. And here we do have a brief meeting with the Hulk. But back to the main story. Samson tracks the Rhino down. I hate to coin a cliche, but I never expected anyone that big to move that fast. He turned on the proverbial dime, and the force of his charge knocked me the length of the street. So they've got a pretty good battle going here. And I think you've got, from a Marvel handbook perspective, Doc Samson, who can lift press around 70 tons, and the Rhino, who can lift press around 80 tons, depending on which entry you're reading. So they're a good matchup, just based on physical capabilities and fighting style. Rhino is probably the better brawler, but Samson is a very determined foe. And the terrain ends up undoing the Rhino in the end. So the battle sort of ends inconclusively. And his is, I think, a two-parter here with a bit of a nautical theme. Sal and Ernie are back. Roger Stern is again our co-writer. So I don't know if he's going to take the book over, or if he's just going to continue to work as a co-writer. And yeah, I don't know if this is Commander Kraken, maybe. I'm not sure who this guy is, but he's got a group of modern-day pirates armed with high-energy weapons. Captain Barracuda, there we go. Hulk winds up on this island with none other than Robinson Crusoe. So there are these crazy ape guys here. Pretty physically formidable characters. And then Captain Barracuda and his crew show up. And again, we have, this might be our last issue of Chan and Sal. Roger Stern is the scripter, Len Wein's plotter editor. We get a flashback to Samson's tussle with the Rhino. Love this sub on this tech and stuff in here, and the underwater sequences are really cool and lush looking. These two are just a great art combo. I don't know if they ever did much together after this, or before this for that matter. Oh, but here we see the origin of the Ape-Men, which is pretty crazy. So that was Crusoe turned into an ape-man. And Hulk gets through to him in a very moving way without violence. So, they use this to transform him back into Banner. But the bestial Crusoe undoes things. And sadly, at the end here, man, these are so sad, these stories. He rescues the Hulk and his dog, sends them off in a mini sub, and the whole base blows up and he stays on it. And he knows there is no place for him in the world above. At least in this world below, he is able to meet his end like a man. Jim Wilson back on the cover, and if it's still an undersea story, well, we're going to have Stingray in the next issue. So very cool. So here we see Sal and Alfredo Alcala, which is kind of like Ernie Chan light, really, if you think about it. I like Alcala's inks on John Buscema a lot, and I like them here as well. But you can see more of Sal coming through these inks than when Chan's heavier line was involved. There's April. Look at Hulk or Banner sporting the full purple suit. Tim Wilson. And here's Stingray. I love that. Transform into the Hulk and wham. That's such a classic comic shot there. Hulk leaves. And then here's the other really macabre story in this collection, 222. Possibly the most offbeat man-brute masterwork of all. So this one is Jim Starlin and Alfredo Alcala. And Starlin does the plotting and layouts. Len Wein scripts and edits, and Alcala does the finished art. So there's a lot of Alcala in this, but you can definitely see the Starlin as well. As the Hulk winds up in this strange cave with these two weird kids. And there's a whole story of them and how they got there. And there's definitely something weird and supernatural going on, because this creature shows up and they have a pretty amazing tussle. And the Hulk emerges victorious, maybe? Oh, great cover. Classic cover here. So I want this. I've seen this in the last couple covers. Ernie Chan and this Valadar. So I'm not sure if that's a handle or an actual artist's name or what. So here we have Sal and Joe Rubinstein inking him. And this is a nice combination. I love this 2-page opener here. Really great. And here we see a partially transformed Banner, which is weird. And he thinks somehow that he's cured. Even when this guy hits him, he doesn't turn into the Hulk. So you think maybe something is amiss here. Love to see Doc Samson strutting his stuff here. Very cool. Some good stuff. These folks, the Magician and April, have been part of the Hulk supporting cast the last 7, 8, 9 issues. So and it was only a matter of time. The leader shows up. And he's back, I believe, in his murder module. I think that's what he used to call that. The Hulk no longer exists, but don't tell the leader. He's too busy trying to kill him. That's a dynamite cover. I think that's some Ernie Chan there, maybe. Might be Ernie Chan over Sal. Hard to say. But look at this splash page. Follow the leader. That title will be used again in 60 issues or so in the 280s. So pretty great here. You seem puzzled, Banner. Perhaps you don't remember our last encounter, when both Hulk and Thing were pawns in a game of chess I played with Kurgo, the alien planet master. That was in Marvel Features number 11. That's actually a great team up with Hulk and the Thing. So that guy that they pulled out of the desert many, many issues ago that Samson rescued was actually the leader. And now he retransforms himself into the leader from Samuel Stearns, and he's back. Samson manages to free himself. So the leader placed a mental block in Samson's mind so he can't attack him. You pathetic human trash. You can't strike me. You can't even leave this building unless I release your subliminal bonds. So now we're getting into a situation here where in previous issues, the leader was like literally brain blasting people and controlling minds, and his powers are now a lot more subtle to the point where they kind of nerf him in the official handbook, and he doesn't really have a lot of overt mental powers, just his genius. Clay Quartermain, a frequent guest, part of the cast here. So, of course, the Hulk is going to try and undo the leader's plans because that's what he does. Oh, yeah, the murder module is back. Remember when the prototype MM was tested in Hulk 123? This is a great full-page shot here. If the Quintronic Man can't take the Hulk, I don't think the murder module will either. So that was actually a Hulk robot. Bruce Banner is dying. Thus fall all who stand in my way. Oh, that's a great cover there. Totally awesome. So Roger Stern is now the full writer, taking over, and Sal and Joe Rubenstein are as our art team. And this is really good. I think this is our last issue, 225. No, it goes to 226, I believe. So Banner somehow dying, but transforms back into the Hulk. And love how Samson and the Hulk tangle, then work together, then tangle again. Up, the leader's humanoids. Hit him hard and fast. It's cool when they fight together. The two gamma-powered titans wade into the humanoid horde, scattering the synthetic men like 10 pins. Pretty awesome. Oh, this is classic. Rolling them up in the street. It's so great. Of course, defying all physics, but we love it, right? Oh, and here the leader's subliminal block. Samson can't get through it. Hulk has no similar block on him, but the leader has some gadgets here. And the Hulk manages to destroy them. Does the leader disintegrate himself here? So here we have issue 226, Big Monster on Campus. Roger Stern writer, Sal Buscema, Joe Sinnott artist. So here we get the slick inks of Joe Sinnott to finish off the issue. Very nice. Very cool. And then we get some cool bonus material. The front and back covers to one Marvel Treasury Edition. Jeff Acklin and Tony DeZanuga. I guess they do the back cover as well. We get a cool Trimpe piece from Foom, black and white piece. This I'd never seen this before, this Ken Stacy artwork from a Hulk index. Back before the internet, folks had to rely on these printed indexes to figure out not only who was in an issue, but who created that particular issue. They were handy. Here's another piece from that index. Front piece by Frank Reyes. That's very cool. Love house ads. Again, let me recall call for Marvel and DC to publish Epic and Treasury editions or collected editions of their house ads. People would buy them. They are great. And this is another good one. unused cover by Dave Cockrum. Original cover art from Rich Buckler and Ernie Chan. Very nice. Yeah, I think Buckler did more than a few of the covers in this one. Incredible Hulk 222, page 14, original art. Here's some original art from Hulk 224. And then maybe the best extra material in here is this crazy 5-page unfinished story from Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. Began work on a story for Incredible Hulk. Wrightson penciled 5 stunning pages, but the story was never completed. Yeah, but this is gorgeous. So this is a photocopy of the pencil artwork. Imagine how cool that would have been. So yeah, that's it. That is a quick read through of the Incredible Hulk Epic Collection, Volume 8, covering the years 1976 to 1978, issues 201 to 226, and annual number 6. Well worth getting. These Epic Collections, even at $50, are still a good value. Tons of story and art. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, and I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.